Hello, and welcome to another episode of Wheel of Horror, the podcast where two best friends spin a wheel once a week. It chooses the horror film, and they discuss it. Today we're talking about 2013's The Purge, which was directed by James DeMonico. Your co-host, Alec.
I'm Eric.
Oh boy, this is our first delving into the Purge series. 400 episodes, and we've still never covered this.
Obviously, a big election just happened, which we're not going to talk about. But
Yeah.
it's just,
We probably shouldn't.
no, nothing, not a word.
Yeah.
But this movie is like it delves into American culture for sure.
The only thing I'll say, the only thing is not, try not to get political.
Please.
This felt like there was revolutionary change in the way that American politics and government and all that happened, and that's the biggest parallel.
Yeah, and this movie came out in 2013, and they're
Yeah.
saying by like 2017, like our economy, the U.S. economy, was like in the gutter. Like, and unemployment was at like 60%. Like, and they did this as a drastic last resort to see if it worked, and it worked. Where I think, and here's my, if this ever happened, immediate economic global collapse, no doubt.
This would never work.
It would never work. It would never work. I like the idea of it, but it would never work.
I don't love this movie, but I like the idea of it, and I want to get more into the franchise because I've only seen this one. And I saw it when it came out, and I haven't really had an interest, but now I really want to watch the whole series. But the first reason this would not work, how expensive would insurance be, dude? Homeowners insurance, car insurance, everybody's shit is just getting broken one day. Like once a year, they have to just fix everything.
Not only that, but just getting a loan.
Yeah.
Like, hey, like what's your purge liability?
Right.
Like, oh, do people like you? Is there a likeness record? Because
Yeah.
I could give you a $50,000 loan right now, and you could be dead next October. You know what I mean?
Exactly. It would change everything.
And I found out the purge date is the first day of spring. I found out. Did
Yeah.
you catch that?
I knew it was like March 21st.
Yeah. Well, they say it in the credits. But yeah, continue.
Before we jump into the plot, that just like that was screaming at me the whole time I was watching it. I was just like, how much Liberty Mutual would go out of business in fucking 10 minutes? But what's your experience with this franchise?
Well, I've always wanted to see this movie.
Oh, you've never seen this?
I never saw it. I know. Well, it's like one of those movies where it's like, I don't need to see it because I know it. You know, I know it.
Oh.
And I never saw it. However, I saw the Rick and Morty episode like a billion times. And it's like, oh, it's like the Purge, old timer. Yeah. And it was great. I liked it. I enjoyed it. It was finally a nice bucket list check for me.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I saw the first one. I think there's 5.
When did you see it? Did you see it when it came out, or
99% sure I saw it in theaters or immediately after it came out on like DVD or whatever. But I saw it like in 2013. And I just like, I don't know, I thought it was fine. I didn't think it was amazing, and I just never had any interest in keeping up with the series. It became a TV show too, like on Sci-Fi for like a season or two. And then the most recent movie I think came out either last year or 2022. I don't really know.
there's a whole show now? But before you get into that, I have the reason why there's been so many. So this movie came out June 7th, 2013, just going through the numbers, over a decade ago, which is like blink an eye and a decade's gone, because I feel like this movie came out 3 years ago. It's an hour and 25 minutes long, nice and short and sweet, how I like it, Alec. You know that. $3 million budget with some big actors. So I would imagine a lot of that budget went to Ethan Hawke.
I can tell you, I looked it up.
Please, right now.
So Ethan Hawke actually took a $10,000 paycheck. That was how much he made for making this movie.
Fuck yeah. Dude, we'll get into Ethan Hawke in a minute too, but yes, that's so cool.
But then he made a deal on the back end, and he made like $3 million off the back end or something like that.
He probably read the script, and his agent was like, yeah, this is going to do very well.
Well, he just did Sinister, and then this is the next year. So it's like, you might be carving yourself a nice little horror niche. And then Black Phone was a couple years later. But dude, like Ethan Hawke's kind of a horror guy.
Honestly, if I'm an actor and I hear Ethan Hawke is in the movie, I'm probably like, this is going to do pretty well.
You've never seen Training Day, Eric.
I've never seen Training. That's one of my bucket list movies. I know.
That's like his best movie, dude.
That is my, probably, when people say, is there any movie that everyone else has seen and you haven't? I always say Training Day. I used to say Shawshank Redemption 10 years ago, but I finally saw that 10 years ago. Now it's Training Day. And it's been
Yeah,
Training Day my whole life.
I know, I know.
But back to the numbers, $3 million budget, 10,000 of that went to Ethan. Box office, $90 million. 30
Yeah.
times the budget, not including marketing, but that's a big time win for Blumhouse and the few other production companies involved. There's multiple production companies, but big win for Blumhouse. Probably really helped build that ramp for them. Here's the thing, a Rotten Critic score is 41%. Critics
Hmm.
didn't like it. The audience score, most surprising, 36%.
Hmm.
Which I'm like, I thought people fucking love this movie, right?
Well, this is what I've heard. This, and I haven't seen the rest of them, so I can't speak to it. But I've heard this is the worst one, and they all get much better after this.
So I don't want to get into the other movies, but it's like Ethan Hawke in it, like other,
No,
so
no.
okay.
The other ones, there's prequels, there's like Purge the first day, so like the first day of the actual first Purge. They jump around. Every movie is new people, and it's like it expands the world.
It probably takes it more to the streets.
Oh yeah, it's all over the country.
That's what people want to see.
Yeah, so this set the groundwork for like, hey, this is what's going on. We don't have a budget to film a city and cars. Like, dude, it's Mad Max. Like, it's insane. And they're like, we don't have that. So let's
Totally.
focus on a family. We'll do a home invasion. We'll set the world up. And the money was there to expand it and make the series better, you know?
Great. Yeah, so crazy numbers, but I just like I couldn't get over it. Like the audience 36.
I
Like I like this movie.
mean,
I'd give it, you know what? It's like it's one of those movies that it could be better, but the idea is great. And I don't care who you're seeing this with. If I'm seeing it with you or my grandma, my mom, my dog, we're having a dialogue after this movie. It makes people talk. Like, and that's what's cool. I love movies that are just like, well, what do you think? It's like, well, really, like, this should have happened. It's
yeah.
just a cool idea.
The concept's cool. I don't love the execution of this movie, man. Like there are so many dumb decisions in this movie that almost ruin it for me. Like I hate the kids in this movie, especially the little boy, dude. I hate that kid.
Oh, bro. And I was watching him. I'm like, what is he from? And I was like, I wasn't looking it up. I wasn't
What is
looking
he
it up. I'm like,
from?
what is that kid from? He's from that TED series that came out like a year ago.
Oh yeah. I like him in that.
Dude, he's great. I didn't watch that whole series, but the scene of them walking down the stairs doing bada 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 the lowrider song,
Yeah.
that was one of the funniest things I've seen in a long time. So
Yeah.
he's a good actor, a little kid, and now he's a grown adult. But I really liked him. However, I agree with you. His kids suck, like suck, both of them.
Honestly, everybody sucks. Like Ethan Hawke, he's fine. Like I like him because he's Ethan Hawke, but the character is just like
I know. My favorite part though is when he like brings in like to the dinner table the corporate talk. It's like we're a team. And it's
Eric.
like
I felt it felt so real.
the
Well,
cringe.
it's like a dad that's not around very much and then just kind of swoops in at the end. It's just like, so, how's your day? Hey, we said we were going to do this at the dinner table. It's like, yeah, dad, because you're never around. Like there was so much under tension or whatever. So didn't like Ethan Hawke's not a great guy. Yeah, he's successful, but he doesn't seem like he's that interested in actually getting to know his family. Lena Headley, she just, I don't know, seemed like a very just like discontent housewife. I don't know. Like there's nothing going on there either. And the kids, I fucking hated the kids. I hated them, especially the boy. The daughter was pretty annoying too. And yeah, we'll get into all of it, but I don't like the main characters. So that's what makes it hard to like the movie, kind of, you know?
I definitely hate the kids the most. And it's because like it feels like this family is clearly in the 1% of the top 10%, right? Would you say?
No, no, they're doing very well, but they're
They're
not.
about to be. They're about to be too, because he just led the sales of security systems.
I'm sure they're millionaires, but they're not the 0.1% of it. No, no, no.
I think they're up there though. They're definitely like higher middle class.
Yeah, they're upper middle class, but they're not like Warren Buffett, you know, like they're doing very well, but they're not the 1% of the 1%.
I think they're high up there. I think they're even elite. I think they're elite status, honestly.
Yeah, I looked up where the house is. It's in a fine area. It's like 20 minutes from where I live. It's not that great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, basically the idea of it is this movie starts off as just like Ethan Hawke is a Purge security salesman. So he, you know, I don't know if he's how high he is up at the company, but he's installing these security systems all around his town, specifically his neighborhood too, which is all a bunch of big houses. And yeah, so he's doing really well. He gets home, he's got a weird kid who builds like Sid from Toy Story kind of toys or whatever, like the
That's
doll.
exactly what I thought. Holy
Yeah.
shit. Yeah.
I mean, it is. It's
It
exactly
was like
what
a
it
little
is.
Terminator version of it with the red eye. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So they got that. Then you got like your standard daughter who's just like in high school and is in a bad mood, and she has a older boyfriend who her dad doesn't want her dating, and that's basically her entire story arc. And then yeah, so they get to the house. Now here's the other thing. Everybody knows about the Purge. This is takes place in 2022, right? Yeah, 2022.
This is like 5 years into the purging.
Yeah, so everybody knows about the Purge.
This is like the fifth purge.
Dude, I am sorry. Nobody's like, hold on, I'm just gonna make a quick stop by the grocery store before the purge. Like, no, you're locked down, I would say like a day, maybe 2 days beforehand.
I mean, well. Here's the thing. He is the head of security of the leading security firm in the nation, and he's very wealthy. He has a house in a nice neighborhood. His neighbors are kind of creepy. If I lived there, I would be like, okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna have a nice dinner. We're gonna get pizza, and we're gonna go down in the basement, and we are going to not only do the doors, like the windows of the house, but this basement is going to be super secure because he definitely would be a target during the purge. Like he is definitely like one of the targets. So I'd be like, we are a vulnerability only because I sell security systems that people know about and can read about on the internet. So if I was Ethan Hawke, it's like we are going in this 10 by 10 room that is going to be completely like bombs could go off around their house. They won't hit this room. But it's like they're hanging around the house and they leave each other. Like, I'm gonna go to my room. It's like, no,
Yeah.
nobody leaves this room this night. We are sleeping, bagging it up, and that's it.
So casual.
It's bullshit. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, especially okay, if this was like Purge 50 and maybe people were like, okay, we kind of know how people are sort of gonna react. This is the fifth Purge. You have no idea what's coming. Like, dude, don't fuck around. Like, I'm sorry. I would take the day of, I would 3 days in between the Purge, I would be taken off from work. We'd be locked down. Like, hey, we're not fucking around. Nothing's gonna sneak in here and be waiting for us. Like, we're gonna be ready. But yeah, they're like, let's stop at McDonald's before I get on. I mean, it was just ridiculous.
I'll be honest. I didn't know who was going to be attacking them, and what was going to happen. I swear to God, I don't even remember the trailer from 2013, but I just wanted to watch this movie. I thought when I was going into this movie, when he was on the phone in the car and whatnot, like, oh, we just led the sales. I thought that he would be purged by another rival security company. That's what I thought was going to happen.
Yeah, I mean that would have been an interesting idea.
To prove that their security system's better during the purge, and it's like, fuck, that would have been cool too.
Yeah, that would have been a better idea, honestly, because what happens is, yeah, we just set it all up. Oh, the one thing is, which is a little tidbit for later. Lena Headley walks outside and she's, chit-chatting with her neighbor, and her neighbor's just looking at the house, and it's like, yeah, your husband installed all these securities, for the purge around all of our neighborhood. Some say that that's what paid for your renovation on your house.
Yeah. So
Okay,
typical,
Eric,
bullshit.
we'll get to this at the end. That is not a fucking reason to kill somebody. Nobody put a gun to your head and said you got to buy this security system for this purge. Like,
What's like? It's like who would you purge? Like you don't purge someone because you're jealous of them.
that's what this was.
That's what this is, and to me that's insane.
Insane.
But that's the top 10 commandments right there. If you look at the 10 commandments, is you shall not kill is five in the 10 commandments, and the 10th one is you shall not covet your neighbor's goods, meaning don't be jealous. So this purge night breaks two, at least. I mean, it breaks a lot, but like two of the 10 commandments.
Yeah, exactly. That's why this would never work. This country is too Christian to be like, we'll get rid of one command or the 10 commandments for one day. He won't pay attention on that day. Like, but anyways, yeah. So the neighbors, you get that little sprinkle of that conversation beforehand. They get inside. Lena Headley's like, hey, by the way, Ethan Hawke, like our daughter's pissed off. You won't let her sleep with like a fucking, I don't know how old he is, like 20 or years old or whatever. So Ethan Hawke's like, I'll talk to her, but I got great news. So we find out that the boyfriend is he sneaks in and he's hooking up with the girl. I don't know how old she is, like 16, I guess. Maybe he's 18. I don't know. They never explain what it is, but the father's uncomfortable with it. And that's the first thing that kind of happens. They lock the doors. They're watching the Purge thing. It says that all crime is legal for 12 hours from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. And the only people that can't get killed are like politicians, and otherwise anything goes.
It's very Hunger Games like too,
Yeah.
almost.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's dystopian future. And anyway, so then all emergency services are shut off. Which, oh, wait, hold on. Here's the other thing, Eric. Here's the other thing, Eric.
I got another. I know what
I
you're
got a
gonna
thing.
say.
Okay, all emergency services are off, okay?
I'm calling out tomorrow. I'm calling out tomorrow.
No, no, no. What about all the people in the hospital that are already in the hospital? Huh?
That's a great point.
What are all the EMTs and all the, not EMTs, but any of the doctors, everybody that were the nurses, they all are just like, well, I guess we're gonna go home and leave you in here.
Yeah, maybe that's in the other movies, but
And maybe it is. Maybe it is. Yeah.
more than likely, they're all staff are like taken out of the building, and whoever lives or dies, and we'll keep the power on, but that's the hospital.
Yeah. There'd be a lot of sick fucks that go into hospitals and yeah.
That's messed.
I don't know. Just it was a plot hole that stood out to me.
What I was gonna say is, you got 12. Well, how many hours? It's the night, right? It's 12 hours.
12. It's 12 hours. Yeah.
If I'm an EMT worker making maybe 25 to 30 bucks an hour, just starting out, March 22nd, I have the flu beyond the flu beyond the flu. There's no way I'm going to work the next day. That day of work is like insane.
That week of work.
Oh man, it's just pick up dead bodies all freaking week. Yeah.
Yeah, at 7 a.m. you hear that alarm go off, and then immediately you hear sirens going, and you're like, oh, these guys are gonna have a horrible day.
But maybe this dystopian future pays those people a lot more, and who knows? We don't go into that realm,
Not in
so
this one. Not in this
it's
one.
it's
Yeah.
it's a wild thing to think about.
I mean, there's one called Purge Election Year where they have candidates running and explaining what this is. So that one might be interesting to watch. But all right, let's keep moving through the plot though. So we left off with the daughter, her and her boyfriend are in the room together. So the boyfriend's in the house after it got locked down. So they watch that emergency thing that we just discussed, and then they all go their own separate ways, which is crazy. And I love too, like the daughter gets up and they're like, okay, like you can be excused or whatever. And then the son gets up too, like, hey, but where you going? Well, I thought we were gonna sit and watch like the Grinch or something. What are you doing?
Ethan Hawke played that dad so good too.
Yeah. He's
The
like,
dad
hey.
that like doesn't get it. Like
Yeah.
he nailed it.
So then he leaves, and then even after that, he's like, "Yeah, we can watch a movie with the kids later." It's like, Ethan, they're not gonna watch a movie with you. Like you might your bank account doesn't equate to how much your kids love you. Okay, Ethan, you gotta understand that. Yes, we find out that the daughter and her boyfriend are in there, and they start making out, and then the boyfriend's like, "I can't do this," and you're like, "What?" And he's just like, "I gotta go talk to your dad." And I was like, oh, and I forgot about this when I saw it. And I was like, oh shit, is he like part of this? And he like uses this as leverage because the dad can't throw him out. And he even says that. And I totally forgot he had a gun. So as this is happening, for some reason, the kid, the young kid, the boy, is watching the security cameras and sees this guy just running down the streets.
Begging for help. Begging
Yeah.
for help. Yeah.
Screaming help. They're going to kill me. I need help. Why isn't anybody helping me? Blah, blah, blah. The boy who knows what the purge is, okay, knows what this is, presses the button and unlocks all the security in the house and lets a complete bloody stranger into their house. So he comes in and then they shut the gate or whatever.
Question.
What?
If I'm Ethan Hawke, would I in any way give access to my kids the codes? Sorry if I said that wrong. Sorry.
No, I know what you mean.
You know what I mean? Like wait, so I know this kid is a very like spy kid, literally.
Spy kid.
But if I'm Ethan Hawke, like there's going to be multiple ways to like you're going to have to text my phone, my wife's phone, my dog's phone in order for you to open that shit. Like there's no way you're just going to plug in four numbers and just open up everything.
He's too young. Yeah, he's too young to have access to that. I want to say he's like 12, maybe 13.
Do you think he found the codes? Did I miss a scene?
No, no. I'm sure his dad just told him at some point.
That's probably one of the biggest plot holes, honestly. Like I would never give anyone the codes to open that.
I don't know. But yeah, the kid knows the code. I'm gonna assume Ethan Hawke told his kids like, "Hey, if there's ever an emergency, like here's the code or whatever." But I don't know.
No, the emergency is closing them again, not opening them.
Yeah. So anyway, so this guy sneaks in as this is happening. Ethan Hawke locks the door down again after the guy's in there, and then the daughter's boyfriend comes up and it's like Ethan Hawke or whatever his name is, Mr. Sangin, and he shoots
Like the
Ethan.
same time too. Yeah.
Yeah, and he goes to shoot Ethan Hawke, and then Ethan Hawke shoots the boyfriend because he has a gun on him.
He already took the gun out on the guy who just got let in too.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and it's just so much at once in that scene.
Yeah, so I hated that the girl, like the daughter, is like, "Oh my God, like, are you okay?" And she's like standing there holding her boyfriend. It's like, your boyfriend just tried to shoot your dad. And then, that all scene happens. So the kid's dead, the boyfriend or whatever. So whatever, that just adds a little more tension, I guess. And then we've got another guy in the house, and he's running around the house. They don't know where he is. And then we get the main antagonists of the film, these people that are dressed up in these like smiley face masks. And they come up and they knock on the door and they introduce themselves and they're like, "We're well-educated people. We were hunting the guy that snuck into your house. We know he's in there. Your neighbors told us he's in there. You need to let us in right now or we're going to kill him and you." And they're like, "We'll give you until, I guess, the thing that will break your security system shows up and does it."
Right. And two things I thought. Two things I thought. One, I thought that was going to be the son of the competitor security system.
Right, right.
Because he looked like a rich frat boy, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He looked like a total douche. Like when it's like, my dad's a lawyer. Definitely that kind of kid. But also, I saw that the guy they let in had dog tags around his neck.
Yeah, they say it at the end too that he's a veteran.
Yeah, for sure. But I thought maybe he had like military secrets or something about security. So that's just what was going on in my head while watching this. I'm sure that was coming up in the writer's room and stuff. But I was thinking that I was like, so he's a military person, and that's why he was so good with a gun. No
Yeah.
spoilers ahead, but yeah, keep going, Alec.
I know a little bit about the future movies, and I do think what happens is very, very rich people, they get like homeless people and poor people, and they auction them off to be killed. And that might have been, this guy could have been escaping something like that.
Okay.
I don't know for a fact, but I know in the future installments there are like secret societies of rich people that do this. But yeah, so they're like, "We need to kill this guy. We're gonna get in there, so either let him out or not." And they're like, "Okay," so they can't find this guy. And this part of the movie, I was kind of just like, all right, they're like just all separated, looking around their house. The kid's using his little Sid from Toy Story thing to, find this guy and flash him with a light and stuff. Like, why doesn't this kid have a fraction of like, hey, this guy might be bad? Like, how I just don't understand how he's not like comprehending this. He's helping him hide, like he's actively making it harder for his family.
Well, you saw that, he's definitely a different type of kid where he's checking his heart. He definitely has issues, this kid, right? You can tell. The kid who wears a heart monitor to dinner and that's what he brings up about his day is sad to hear. So I don't know. I just feel like he was trying to do good. He really was trying to help someone.
Yeah. You just got to be like, "Hey, today, not the day."
Well, that's an absentee father scenario. Like the father's not there to talk to his kid. Like, hey, like, why are you checking your heart? Like, you're fine. You're a young kid. What's wrong? It's like, well, it was above average today. It's like, yeah, that's okay. But Ethan Hawke doesn't even give him the chance at the dinner table to explain that. He just like, oh, how was your day? Oh, does anyone want to hear about my day? And like, he doesn't talk to his kids clearly. So I think that's what it is a kid who's just like feeling righteous and trying to do the right thing and save someone.
Yeah. I don't know. I hated it. I don't know. I mean, it needs to happen, I guess, for the plot, but this kid is such an idiot. The way that he lets that guy in, the way that he helps the guy hide when they're in the house after knowing that this guy not going out will have them all killed. I don't know. Anyways, so we're already here. Like, there's nothing we can do now. This guy's already in the house. Ethan Hawke's pissed, but he's just like, whatever, we got to deal with this.
Yeah, and the people are outside saying, if you don't let him out, if you don't give him to us, we're going to get in.
Yeah.
There's no way we're not. And he's threatening, and he just killed another person.
I hated that. I hated that so much, dude.
I mean, he also was like, he was a friend too. So it's like, so they're proving that they're insane, but also that they mean business. I think that's what that scene was about. But yeah,
that was so dumb. So basically, the scene is the leader of this crew outside. They call Ethan Hawke to the door, And he's just like, hey, like, you gotta let this guy out. And then all of a sudden, one of the other crazy guys outside runs up and he's like, you gotta let us in right now. The leader just shoots him in the head. And he's like, sorry, I don't like behavior like that.
But he goes, that was a friend, by the way.
That felt so forced. That felt like they wanted it to be like the Joker, but it just didn't land for me. I don't know.
I get that. I get that.
Why would anybody follow this guy that if you yell near him, he's gonna shoot you?
I just think that he took that as he means business.
Yeah, I know. I thought that was an insane over exaggeration to the point where I don't know why anybody would ever listen to you. But so then we get, I mean, basically they get to the door, right? I mean, oh, there's the one little scene where Lena Headley's like, well, they can't get in, and he's like, well, they can.
Well, that shows like he's a fraud.
Yeah, he is.
He's a fraud of a father. He's a fraud of a husband. He's a fraud of a security system person. And now it's all gonna bite him in the ass.
I think at the end of the day, Eric, like there's no security system that's impenetrable. If somebody shot a tank at your house, like
No. If you're the head of security, if you're leading the nation in security systems, and all your neighbors have it, blah blah blah, and someone can take a Jeep Wrangler and just take off your fucking door and get in, nah, man, nah.
Yeah, no, it's stupid. That is stupid. Like that, it should have been a tank. It should have been like something insane.
I would have liked that if it was something insane like a warthog from Halo. I'd be like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, like a minigun. I mean, well, the later series do have crazy stuff like that. But he even said like somebody could dig underground and get up here, and I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Like if you get the best security system in the world, they can't prevent people from tunneling under your house. Like I don't know, maybe they can. Yeah, so then they do break in and they go on just like a shooting, killing rampage basically for, a decent amount of time. Ethan Hawke fights them. He gets stabbed by the lead bad guy and he ends up dying.
Well, he has this one scene in this like this game room where there's a pool machine and a ping pong a pinball machine, and he does work, and he is trying to finally protect his family, and I think he's having this like realization like we survived this night, my family will heal too. I feel that while he's doing this, and like you said, he killed like 5 people by himself.
Yeah.
And then he walks around the corner, and who's there? But the guy stabs him and just, gets him good. Yeah.
Well, the daughter even says, like, we're never coming back from this. Like, there's no going back after tonight.
Well, he killed her boyfriend too, who tried to kill him.
That's just self-defense, dude. That kid walked down, didn't want to have a conversation, wanted to murder you because you don't want him sleeping with your daughter.
Also, that kid's a terrible shot. God damn. Yeah, couldn't believe
also,
that.
just really quick before we move on, why is the daughter dressed like Sailor Moon the whole time? Just saying. She's in like a Catholic schoolgirl's outfit the entire time.
At dinner? Yeah, no.
No, literally the entire movie.
That's not like going to bed clothes. There's none of that. Yeah.
No, it's the whole movie. Okay, so yeah, they break in, they have a big fight. Ethan Hawke kills a bunch of them. He then gets stabbed and actually dies. And I was kind of like, damn, that was pretty jarring. I forgot that he died like that. And then when you think it's all over, Lena Headey's getting fucked up.
There's like a tickle fight and stuff and weird stuff.
Yeah, these people are crazy. They wear like crazy masks and they do and they cackle and jump around like banshees and stuff. Yeah, so then the neighbors from the beginning who are talking shit about the security systems, they come in and save the day and they murder all the bad guys. And you're like, nice. And then they're like, wait, we are also bad. We're the ones that need to kill you, not these guys. So they leave Ethan Hawke because he's dead, and they tie up the kids and tie up Lena Headey, and they're like, we're going to kill your kids in front of you right now. And you're just like, Jesus Christ. And she's begging for their lives, begging. And then the guy who's been hiding the whole time in their house comes out and doesn't shoot them, but he disarms them, and Lena Headey's able to get a gun, and then they...
Well, no, he shoots like 3 other people. He doesn't shoot everyone.
Oh, did he? Okay.
So he shoots people, and he takes the blonde girl who looks, I mean... I'm going to say this, like Brittany Snow in like 10 years, right? You see that?
Yeah.
And he holds her and he says, going up, like, and he kills like 3 people, dude.
Okay.
But also, this guy's been through a night where multiple people, the bad group that was breaking down the walls were trying to kill him. Ethan Hawke was trying to kill him. And he's coming back to revenge for them. If I was him, I'd be like, I want nothing to do with Purge. I would be so far running away from this house if the windows are open and stuff. Like the fact that he came back is impressive. That's all I'm saying. She also stabbed him with a letter opener. Remember that?
Yeah, it's like push it into his wound.
And that was the family he just saved, which you just described. So it's insane to me.
Well, that we need to talk about that one scene though before all this. So like they're debating killing him, and the son is like, "We got to be good," and he's like, "You don't remember what it was like before the purge. Like we need to kill this guy." And he's like, "You're either gonna go out there, you're gonna die tonight. You're gonna die like a man, or you're gonna get my entire family killed. But either way, you're gonna die." And they basically come to the conclusion that they're like, "Okay, we're gonna help this guy after we tied him up and beat him and did all this
Well,
stuff."
that was Ethan Hawke. Ethan Hawke said instead of I have one other option, and it's we save this guy and we fight. And
Yeah,
I think that's why the guy comes back and saves the
yeah,
family.
that is why. Yeah.
I don't think that would happen. I think that guy would be long gone.
Well, here's what I would do if I was that guy. I'd be like, yeah, I'm on your side or whatever, but I'm shooting these guys in their kneecaps and their balls. Like, let's go.
Also, he's stabbed the fuck right now. He is not doing well either.
But I can't believe they literally just like let them sit at the table and they're just like, we're just gonna wait this out. No more violence tonight. I'm like, no.
Meanwhile, he's standing up and just like bleeding out. Like he needs stitches, no doubt.
Oh yeah, well he's fucked, dude. That guy. Imagine that you don't die on the day of the purge, but you get hurt like that. You're never getting into a hospital.
Oh, imagine the ER waiting room. Oh.
Yeah, you're going to the vet. You're going to the vet and being like, hey, please. Like,
I'd go to Walgreens and get like a stitch kit and just do it myself with some hydrogen peroxide and some alcohol and just a lighter. Yeah, there's no way you're getting an ER.
That's how the movie ends. I mean, the guy leaves, the blonde woman gives one last like attempt to grab the gun, and then Lena Headey, bashes her head in with a shotgun and then smashes her face in the table. And I'm like,
I love that scene. That was so cool. Like, no one else is dying tonight.
yeah. Okay, here's my other question.
Yeah.
How would you know if I shot somebody at like 8 a.m. that day after the purge?
How would you know?
You wouldn't know.
How would you know?
I don't know.
Witnesses is the only thing. Aside from that, I think it's people actually honoring the purge.
Yeah, I think there'd be a lot of discrepancies.
Yeah. If I'm on an airplane and during the purge,
You're not on. There's no flights during the purge.
and I'm flying, but I'm flying, intercontinental, and all of a sudden the zone changes. Sorry, purging it up.
That's never gonna happen. This one guy, really quick before we wrap up here, but this one guy figured out the way to be the most profitable during the purge, and what he said was go around collecting dead bodies and then selling their organs on the black market.
Fuck, dude, that's a great idea. Why isn't that a movie?
He's like, you don't have to kill anybody, and he's like, and the average body is worth like $1 million.
The Purge Harvest, call it. Yeah.
So, this guy came up with it, but yeah, his theory.
That's genius, man.
Yeah, because he's like, if you rob a bank, like the next day they'll catch you. Like he's like, you don't get away with it just because it was on the purge. It's not legal then, but at the next day when they're like, hey, all of our money's gone, we need to find out who did this, and then you get arrested. Anyways, it's not a terrible movie, and I do want to see the next ones because I want to see how it expands on the universe. And knowing that this is potentially the worst of the series, it's gives me high hopes because this wasn't too bad.
The worst, but it did very well. Any last thoughts, Alec?
No, I think it's worth checking out, and I'd like to see more now.
Also, I wrote down one other note. Remember Rad 2.0?
The robot thing?
Yeah, that's what the kid had. It was like a Sid Rad 2.0 Terminator combo. Anyway.
Oh, okay. Wait. Really quick.
Whoa, we got.
All right, here's my bullshit. It's 2022. The girl has earphones like it's fucking 2007. Just saying. They weren't even AirPods. They weren't even wireless.
Get out of here.
They weren't even wireless.
Does she even know what Bluetooth is?
And I was like, come on, guys. You give the kid like Google glasses for his little fucking robot, but the girl doesn't have anything appropriate for headphones. All right, anyways. Let's spin a wheel.
Let's spin the wheel. All right, spinning. Oh, we got Poltergeist 3.
Random, but let's do it. This is the closing out of the original trilogy before the remake, so we'll see how it ends.
Don't go into the light.
Just keep saying every movie.
It's all she does the whole movie. Dude, this was a good episode. I cannot wait to re-listen to your edit. Good movie. Good movie. Yeah. I hate that this is the worst in the series. So,
Well, we'll keep it going. So, well, everybody, thank you very much for listening into our episode on The Purge, and we'll see you next week with Poltergeist 3.